It's a good afternoon and a warm welcome to White City Stadium, the B Arena, where we are bringing you this Southern Region Division 1 Soccer League encounter between Bosso 90 and CIWU. My name is Sakeleni Numalo and I'm with Dumi Praise Zagama and Anele Nyati.
Thanks so much, Brakesa, and we look forward to this one. It looks to be an exciting one, with Bosso 90 coming back from that Pirates Cup. We might say it was a successful trip after finishing as runners-up. So CIWU also under a revival, with Mapaisa and Chobobo in charge. So I think we'll have a game on our hands. So it's going to be an exciting one, I may say, Brakesa.
As Highlanders are fielding most of the players that did duty for them in South Africa there, I can see Bosso Mahlangu, jersey number 20. He scored a brace when Bosso 90 won that semi-final encounter against the Safa School of Excellence. And also in goals there, we've got Gerald Sibanda, who is the son to former Highlanders goalkeeper Ndotana Sibanda. He has since taken over after Romeo Zimba was promoted to the senior team. And we are underway. Mangimu, Israel Ndlovu, with a long one forward, a good block there by the Highlanders defense, but that one will go back to Israel. Mangimu Ndlovu, who cuts inside, is looking for a teammate, but it's picked up there by Shelton Gava for Highlanders. He spreads it wide, and Rowan Sibanda will pick it up and finds Mangimu back to Sibanda. It's picked up in the middle of the park there by Gava. As Gillian Nyati, the holding midfielder for Highlanders, spreads it to the right channel where there is Mzondo, who plays it down the line. It's back to Mzondo. He's looking for the pint-sized Charlton Nyahanana. He's a dribbling wizard to me, and a lot is expected from that right channel there where there is Nyahanana.
Yeah. When you look at his body frame, Brakesa, it looks like someone who is, a typical winger because of being, lanky. So he's quite skillful, and like you said, we have a player for the future. And when you look at how he dribbles, I think CIWU will have to watch that right flank for Bosso 90 there with Mzondo and him.
Through ball there as jersey number 7 for CIWU comes up. That's Denzel Ngube, and he was gifted with an opportunity there to find the opener for his side. He managed to beat the goalkeeper Sibanda, but then rushed his effort. He should have continued and kept going towards the goal, but then his effort found the Highlanders defenders having recovered and well in position to clear that one.
It's a chance gone begging for CIWU. He should have maintained his composure, Brakesa. Look up and see where the goalkeeper is, but I think it was a rushed effort. So missed opportunity for CIWU, and having played 2 minutes, CIWU with the early pressure, with the early impetus. So let's wait and see, Brakesa, how Bosso 90 will respond after that opportunity by CIWU.
That was a good chance there for CIWU to find the opener through Denzel Ngube, but Ngube flubbed his effort there. Mangimu for CIWU. He finds Prince Chuma. Into the box it comes, but the near side assistant referee has raised his flag to indicate that Israel Ndlovu had strayed offside there. It's 3 minutes by our clock, and CIWU seem to be asking the questions of the Bosso 90 defense.
Yeah, they are quick in transition, Brakesa. So from their defense to attack, they are so quick. But
Mahlangu for Bosso 90, but the goalkeeper Jethro Chakwizira rushes out of his goal mouth to collect that one there. That was the first chance for Bosso 90 to also ask the questions of the Highlanders defense.
Good response, Brakesa, from Bosso 90 there. So it shows that, we have a game on our hands. So CIWU also, making sure that they attack in numbers. And Bosso 90 now, we have seen them responding with this Bosso Mahlangu. So let's wait and see, Brakesa, if, we'll get an early goal here in this match.
As Mahlangu picks it up, twists and turns, a cross-field pass. It was a poor one. And it's intercepted there by Israel Mangimu. A throw in for Bosso 90. Mzondo throws it down the line, finds Nyahanana, back to Mzondo, into the box it comes. Good defensive header there by the CIWU defense. Mangimu finds Rowan Sibanda. He's a former Bosso 90 player. Also did duty for Bulawayo Province back in 2016 when Bulawayo Province won bronze at the Zimbabwe National Youth Games in Chinoi. Nyahanana wins a throw after Israel Ndlovu had the last touch. So it's a throw in just by the corner flag there for Bosso 90. Nzondo behind that one finds Nyahanana. Into the box it comes. A header, and well, he didn't connect properly there. That is jersey number 6 for Highlanders, Caesar Dube. That was a good chance for Bosso 90 to find the target there.
He's a striker in form, Brakesa. When you look at what he has been doing, even in South Africa and in the previous Bosso 90 matches against Mosi, he scored a brace that is Mafiko Caesar Dube. So he's also the son of Caesar Dube, the former Juve Sundowns player. So that was a missed opportunity, but it's good that the strikers are asking questions. We saw Busiso, now it's Caesar. So good play by Bosso 90.
Quite a good start by the Bosso 90 youngsters there, as Dube plays it to Gillian Nyati. Nyati finds Gava. A good exchange of passes there, but Nyati then puts his defender there under pressure. That is Brian Chitura being put under pressure there by the holding midfielder. That is Gillian Nyati. He has taken over the role that was being performed by Darlington Munkuli, who has since been promoted to the senior team.
The surprising part is that when Da was promoted, they started winning. That is Bosso 90. So it's quite something that is notable, Brakesa. So I think he has stamped his authority in midfield, but it was big shoes for him to feel. Munkuli was one player was key for Bosso 90. Let's wait and see how he will perform today. That is Chilen Nyati.
A good skill there by Maibongwe Ndlovu, but his efforts come to naught after he misplaces his pass. But it's still CIWU in possession, and they turn over possession back to Highlanders. A chance now for Denzel Nube to go on the attack. He goes down under challenge there from the Bosso skipper. That is Nigel Nube, but the referee did not see anything wrong with that one. Instead, he is indicating that it is a corner kick for CIWU.
First one today in terms of corner kicks, Brakesa. So right now we have got CIWU with one corner kick and Bosso 90 with 0 after 7 minutes that we have played in this match. So it remains goalless, and CIWU have a corner, and with the previous Division 1 matches that I've watched, the corner kicks have resulted in goals. So if CIWU continue with that trend, we might witness a goal. Let's wait and see if they will utilize this one.
Into the box it comes, and that was a huge chance there for the CIWU player. I think it's Rowan Sibanda. He rushed his effort there. He had all the time to direct his header at goal, but he totally missed the target.
Composure, Brakesa, composure. I think this is one thing that players need to understand, and that was a good opportunity for CIWU. So it's the second one, and that one, it was a clear-cut opportunity. The goal, it is Messi, but he failed to direct his header goalwards. So it remains a 0-0 after 8 minutes. So already, Brakesa, we are having chances in this match. So it looks to be an exciting one so far.
Yes, so far so good in terms of chances created, as Nyahanana works his way past his men and finds the right back. Zondo into the box it comes. Dube fails to control that one, and it will go out for a throw-in to CIWU with 9 minutes on the clock. It is still a goalless affair here at the White City Stadium B Arena. Sibanda back to Mangimu is put under pressure there by Gava, as CIWU struggles to clear their lines, which they eventually do. Prince Chuma through ball for Denzel Nube, with Nigel Nube in attendance. Still Nube twists and turns and eventually finds Rukoshe. Into the box it comes, cleared by the giant figure of Gillian Nyati. Rowan. Rukoshe to Prince Chuma. Cuts inside. Gets a return pass. It falls now for Rukoshe. Cross into the box. Well, good defensive work there by Nigel Ngube as Rukoshe goes down there screaming. But the referee saw nothing wrong with that challenge. Good turn there by Caesar. Into the box it comes. Nyahanana falls. Busiso Mahlangu, who fails to control, but he was already in an offside position.
So, Brakeza, we saw Rukoshe going down inside the box, but I think the second assistant was close to the action and he saw what happened there, and he's still on the ground to show that maybe it was a strong challenge. But I think the referees, are the ones who were closer to the action and they saw what happened. But then again, looking at how Bosso 90 is attacking, I think that combination between Caesar and Z, maybe they might get a goal any time from now. We've played 10 minutes now, Brakesa, and it remains goalless. But also on the other hand, I think CIWU have come into this one with a positive mindset. They are here to try and grab the maximum points, Brakesa. Their attack as well with the Maibongo and Denzel, they are quite tricky, in the final third. So I think both teams really are giving us exciting stuff, and we might see a goal any minute from now.
But we have got to be wary of the counter, the quick break by Highlanders, because they were nearly caught on the counter there, but Bosso strayed offside, and as a result, that one did not count. So no matter how high they try and press, that is still, they will have to watch out for the quick break by Highlanders, by Bosso 90, because they have shown that they are capable executing that.
Very true, Brakesa, very true. Once they gain possession at the back and they attack in numbers, so CIWU will really have to watch out for that. But in the same manner, I think Bosso 90 also they need to be tidy at the back, because we saw a tackle inside the box. It was clumsy, and on any day another referee could have awarded a penalty. So both teams, in terms of their defense, they will have to make sure that they are alert, because the attack that we are seeing in this match from both teams, it might result in a goal any minute from now.
Sibanda goes for the long ball, and that one is cleared there by Muzondo. Goes for Muzondo, into the box it comes. Gava tries to set up Nyati. Prince finds Gava. Mazivire. Back to Gillen, switches play and finds Nyahanana. Into the box it comes. He did not look up to see where he was sending that delivery. But some hesitation there from CIWU. Gives the ball back to Bosso 90. In the air it goes. And the referee says there was a foul there on Rowan Asivanda. So some breathing space for CIWU, because they had come under a bit of pressure in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, definitely. But credit to Jimmy, that is James Tirenga, the centre back of CIWU, has stood resolute. But once again, CIWU on the attack, but the expander collects. So I think their defense also, in terms of aerial tackles, they are winning everything. That is the back line for CIWU. So I think Bosso 90 should try and keep it to the floor, because once they put it into the air, the CIWU defense is well marshaled by Jimmy there, who is keeping out everything. So Bosso 19 attack once again.
Nyahanana into the box. Good block there by Mangimu. And Nyati will make sure that that ball goes out. It's quickly taken, throw in by Bosso 90. But quick now for CIWU to go on the break. Prince Chuma cuts inside, tries to work his way past the Bosso 90 defender, but can't. Prince for Bosso putting high up in the air, and Chirenga will clear. The combination of Chirenga and Godfrey Nyandoro really winning everything that the Bosso 90 wingers are throwing into the air. So like Dumi has been saying, the Bosso 90 youngsters have got to change tech and try and keep it on the surface. A good turn there by Caesar Dube, a crossfield pass, is looking for Nyahanana.
Good play, Brakesa.
Into the box it comes. Bosso connects, but fails to direct his effort. Goal was, well, there was a touch from a CIWU defender. So it is the second corner kick of the day for Bosso 90.
Close one once again, Brakesa from Bosso 90. There, Mahlangu coming a shed slow in responding to that cross by Carlton. So it remains 2-1 in terms of corner kicks, but 0-0 in the scoreline. A corner comes in.
And that one was overhit, and Prince Chuma will clear the lines for CIWU with the assistance of Israel Ndlovu. Well, his clearance, not launching a counter-attack. Those clearances should be passes, they should be deliveries for strikers or midfielders to run onto so that they can launch a counter-attack.
Definitely, Maibongo has shown us today that he's quite speedy in attack. So I think it should reach that intended target. But CIWU not doing that this afternoon. So they are preparing to build it up, Brakesa, instead of transitioning it quick when they are attacking. So they try to do it, but it comes to naught. So I think both teams now they have to change their strategies, because it seems like what they started with the Brakesa, it's not working for Bosso 90 and CIWU as well.
Prince for Bosso 90. Matsivire with a long-range effort. Well, it was a good one. I think if he had connected properly and directed towards goal, maybe it could have troubled the goalkeeper Jethro Chakwizira there, because it was hit first time, and the goalkeeper will be thinking that the player is still going to control and might not be in a position to make the save.
Yeah, I think this former Cezanne High student, it was a good idea from the former Cezanne High student, that is Matsivire, to come up with that effort, but I think the execution wasn't really what that passing needed. But if he continues to do that, he might catch the goalkeeper unawares, like you said, that he didn't really expect it to come out that way. But we've seen Modric, without outfoot, getting those priceless balls for Real and even those passes. So it's one area, that players can actually utilize to beat the goalkeeper, because he won't be expecting it, and it catches him by surprise, and you get a brilliant goal out of it. So Matsivire almost reminded us of Modric.
Well, the Bosso 90 coach, Shepherd Magalega Spanda, must be happy that his boys are making those attempts, because you cannot score if you are not making any attempts at goal. Shelton cover. Matsivire, Julian Nyati. Good spell of possession there by Bosso 90, but quite a crude tackle there on cover by Rowan Sibanda.
Brakesa, it doesn't go down well with me if I see those tackles, because we don't have an ambulance here, and players get injured. I get really worried. In some previous matches we saw players even taken to hospital, and yesterday in Wange we are getting reports that Felix Chindungwe had to be taken to hospital because of such tackles. So we have to make sure that our game remains clean, and also that we get ambulances into these matches, because a player might be injured and it might be the end of his career. So because in that one, I think the view that we have here, Brakesa, we saw it clearly how he went into that tackle with an open foot, and if it caught his ankle, maybe it's a serious injury, but he's up, that is cover, so maybe it wasn't something serious. So Rowan, being the anchor man, he's the heart man, so he has to do that, but maybe he should try and make sure it doesn't come in hard, because if he does that, then he might cost someone a career in football.
Yeah, quite a change in position for Rowan Sibanda, because when he was at Bosso 90 he was a striker, but right now he's playing as the holding midfielder for CIWU, and he has learned to be hard, because I remember when we were in Chinoi there for the youth games, Coach Mabalega was saying, this one, likwala low, when he was referring to Rowan, but
like now he's coming up.
You can't be a koala when you are playing as a holding midfielder. As Zubusiso Mahlangu goes on a run, but the outstanding John Chirenga clears that one for a throw-in. Nyahanana with a cross for Bosso 90, and the goalkeeper comes out first to collect. Mahlangu, but the goalkeeper makes a save there. That was quite a reflex save from the goalkeeper because he was down on the ground, but he managed to punch that one away.
Definitely, I think that the goalkeeper doing his job, maybe we can say that he corrected his mistake because he dropped it initially, and I thought he should have maybe punched it, because if you are coming out as a goalkeeper and you see that you cannot hold it cleanly, then you just push it away, because if you drop it, then you are giving the striker an opportunity. But also, as Bosso Mahlangu, I thought he should also have done better, maybe keep his composure, maybe dummy the keeper, because he had all the space and he had all the time maybe to try and pick his spot and then bury it. So it's a corner for Bosso 90, the third one as well, played 28 minutes in this one.
Into the box it comes, headed away by Israel Ndlovu. Nyanana, bounce one, starts goal. And that was a good volley there from Nyanana, but the goalkeeper was alert to the danger and he was also properly positioned.
Like you said, Rakes, I think Mabaleka should be proud of that these youngsters, are making this attempts at goal, because if you want to score, then you should try and keep the goalkeeper busy, and they are doing that, and they are doing that in a manner that is quite brilliant. We are seeing volleys, we are seeing outer foot, so getting those chances, that is Bosso 90. So Nyanana once again with that volley, but the keeper equal to the task. So I think he is also a very good goalkeeper, that is the CIWU goalkeeper. So let's wait and see, Brakeza, if Bosso 90 will breach the CIWU defense this afternoon.
It's likely to go all the way into the penalty box, and yes it does, as the goalkeeper rushes out and collects quite a good call from the goalkeeper to claim that one. So his defenders let it be so that the goalkeeper would be unimpeded when he comes out to collect. It's important for a goalkeeper to be vocal to me.
Yeah, it's very true, Brakesa. So communication is quite key as a goalkeeper, and it was a clear call, and even us here where we are standing, I think we heard it clearly with this banda calling it that this is my ball, and the defenders allowed it to roll to get to his hands. So good basics in terms of goalkeeping from Sibanda there. It was also a clean catch from him to show the confidence that he has.
And again he calls out and rushes out of his goal mouth to collect. That is Gerald Sibanda, son to Ndodana Sibanda, who saw duty for quite a number of teams in the local domestic top flight and also played outside the country. Nigel Ngube with the through ball. Mahlangu puts pressure there. It falls for Caesar Dube, but good defensive work there by Nyandoro to snuff out the danger.
They've been outstanding, the two centre backs and the goalkeeper as well, Jetro. So I think credit to them. They've maintained, the discipline in terms of their defensive lines, and whatever Bosso 90 has thrown at them, they have just kept that clean sheet. So marks to them. That is the CIWU defense for what they have done this afternoon. But let's wait and see how Bosso 90 will dispatch this for the corner kick.
Nyahanana with the corner, it's high up in the air, but that one will be easily collected there by the tall ganging figure of Jethro Chakwizira. Immediately launches an attack as his opposite number, Gerald Sibanda, also rushes out of his goal mouth to play that one out for a throw in. Israel Ndlovu with a long one forward, and it will go all the way to the goalkeeper for a routine catch. That is Sibanda. He pumps one high up in the air, one by Rukosha. It falls for Tambani Mpoma, a product of MK Lions. Prince Chuma inside the box. Nice back flick there, but Baptiste Chendegasiboni, and that one was intercepted by the Highlanders defense. Caesar tries to open fire from range, and good block there by the CIWU defender, that is Chirenga. Well, Chirenga and Nyandoro showing that they are equally good in the air as they are on the ground, because they've stopped all the attacks that have come from the central position. Nyahanana tries to find a teammate. It's Matsivire. He sets up. Nyati opens fire, but that one is way off target with the seconds left of regulation time.
So that was another attack by Bosso 90, and I thought maybe Matsibire should have taken responsibility because Nyati wasn't anticipating that pass from him. In the end, he placed it way over the bar. But earlier on, I thought Prince, Brankesa should have controlled that one rather than choosing to be stylish. You need a goal. So, like you say, this defenders won, and the Bosso 90 defenders watching him, but he had all the time in the world to control and maybe try and get it on target, but he chose to be stylish, and in the end it ended up not even being a missed opportunity for CIWU, but it was a good attacker from them. So action swinging from one end, Prince making failing to punish Bosso 90, and then on the other hand that pullback by Nyahanana, no one taking responsibility from Bosso 90 to get it on target. So it remains a goalless Brakeza, and right now we have played 45 minutes, CIWU on attack.
Well, another chance goes begging there as Denzel Nube failed to connect to that Israel Ndlovu cross in injury time, as the referee blows to signal the end of the first half. It was quite a balanced affair to me, as far as I'm concerned, because both teams had their fair chances and they failed to utilize them. Welcome back to the second half of this Southern Region Division 1 Soccer League encounter between CIWU and Bosso 90, or is it Bosso 90 and CIWU, because Bosso 90 are the home team, and it's still a goalless affair here at the B Arena. What do you think the coaches said to their teams to try and change the complexion of this game?
I think for me, it's a composure when they are into that attacking zone. We have seen rushed efforts from both teams, but for CIWU have got those clear-cut opportunities compared to Bosso 90, I think the coach would have told his players that let's keep the composure whenever we are in attack. Something might come out. But for Bosso 90, I think it should be a change of strategy, Brakesa, rather than trying to get CIWU on the break. Maybe they should try and use different means. Maybe if the counter-attack is not working, then they should keep it on the ground and try to break through the center. But we'll wait and see if that is what these coaches might have said at halftime.
As Israel Ndlovu Mangimu throws it all the way back to his goalkeeper Jethro Chakwizira. It's back to Ndlovu, pumps along one forward. It falls for Maibongwe, but he can't control that one. And in the process fouls Matsibire, and the referee Graduate Mubobo blows to indicate that it is a Bosso 90 foul. And there's a change that is being made there on the far side by CIWU. So play will have to restart after the change has been made. It's jersey number 3, Rafael Nyati, who's making way for Keith Chikami from Makwekwe West, formerly with Toronto.
So he's one experienced name when it comes to the Zipa Southern Region Division 1 bracket. He's been playing in this league for quite some time. That is Keith. He has been, like you said, at Toronto. He was also at CIWU the last time when they were under the tutelage of Kutsimandire, who is now at Arnel. So he's also another tricky customer in attack. So he has got a skill, and Bosso 90 will have to watch Keith right now with Denzel and Maibong still on the field of play. So I think we are going to see more trickery and more attacks from these tricky players that we have on the field of play for CIWU.
A good work there by Rowan Sabanda. He finds Tembani Mboma Moyo. Spreads it wide to the left channel where there is Mangimu. He cuts inside and finds Mboma. Tries to do too much and loses out to Nzondo. And there comes the message from the captain, Rukoshe, to keep it simple and play with whoever is open. Chitura checks too long on the ball and is dispossessed as Sibanda plays it wide to the left back. Ndlovu plays it down the line for Prince Chuma. Chuma goes on a run, cuts inside, sends in a cross. But that one is a blind pass. And Chitura will collect and pump along on forward for Nyahanana. He cuts inside, plays it forward for Prince Ndlovu. A good block there by the impressive Chirenga. As Bosso 90 win a throw in on the left channel. Nyahanana to Ndlovu. The two exchange passes before Ndlovu tries to send one forward. It was now for Gillian Nyati. Simba Mazivire picks it up for Bosso 90. Tries to whip it into the box, but this one will go all the way to goalkeeper Chakwizira for some routine goalkeeping.
Maybe he should have done better, that is Simba there, in picking out his teammates because in the end it was a stray ball which was easily collected by the CIWU goalkeeper. So it seems like even in the second half, Brakesa, it remains a cagey affair, and we haven't seen really anything different from what we were seeing in the first half. Maybe it might change as we know as time moves on, but so far I think it remains cagey with both teams trying to get that elusive first goal that we also are yearning for.
Nyanana's cross is blocked by Ndlovu, and the referee, Graduate Mbobo, stop and play so that the injured Tembani Mboma Moyo can get some attention from the medical team. But to me, it seems like there has not been a change of strategy when it comes to Bosso 90, because they continue pumping those long balls, those high balls into the CIWU penalty area.
And when we were standing, Brakesa, just look at Rukoche and as well as Nyandoro, those tall, defenders for CIWU. So I think it's just doing the same thing and expecting different results. But Bosso 90 should try and change, because when I look at Mahlangu, I look at Caesar, they can't win those aerial tussles against these two centre backs that CIWU has on the field of play. So maybe Mabalega there will try and change that. We are seeing action on the bench. Maybe he is also noticing that. But on the other end, for CIWU, I think they have three players now in terms of their attack. We wait and see if they will change, the complexion of this encounter, especially with the introducing of Keith, who is now in that holding role as a striker, being the target man for those long balls. So maybe it might be a different dimension in terms of the CIWU attacks. So let's wait and see how they transition in this one.
Moebongo with the through ball, looking for Keith Chikami, but Chikami could not get to the end of that one. And Gerald Sibanda will collect and proceeds to send a long ball forward. It's picked up by Israel Mangimu as Chirenga clears, falls for Muzondo. Mazivire will pump it further forward. And another clearance from Nyandoro. Well, here comes Tenzel Nube for CIWU, finds Chikami! Chikami! It's in! There is the opener there from Chikami. Quick transition from defense into attack, and CIWU have found the opener.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's deserved, Brakesa. For CIWU, we saw them in the first half. They got these clear-cut opportunities, but they were failing to, maintain that composure. And Keith, being the substitute, coming in, and he was, I think, he was watching when he was on the bench to see where his teammates were going wrong and doing everything right. But Prince was dispossessed for Bosso 90 on that left channel, and once he was dispossessed, his fellow teammates, they failed to recover. cover, and it was squared in, and Keith had the easiest of tasks to pick his spot and bury it home. But it's not easy to score, Prakesa. From where we are standing, it might look easy, but I think credit to Keith for keeping the composure and picking his spot and burying it home. CIWU lead 1-0, 54 minutes we have played, and they lead this one against the Bosso 90.
Well, it's always dangerous to lose possession when you are in attack because the defense will not be in a good position. The defensive lines will be not properly constructed, and that is what happened because Keith Chikami found himself unattended inside the box and had all the time in the world to try and finish that one, and finish he did easily and coolly, slotting the ball past an exposed Gerald Sibanda. So it is CIWU now in the lead. And a couple of changes. It's a triple change that is about to be made there by Bosso 90. You see Matsivire,
Caesar as well.
Chitura and Caesar making their way off as Bosso 90 try and salvage this one. Keith Chikami on target for CIWU. He used to score for fun back in the days when CIWU were under Kudzi Mandire. Jersey number 17, Akim Komo getting his first touch, having made his way onto the pitch in that triple change. Mahlangu tries to do too much and loses out to Rowan Sibanda. Good skill there by Maibongwe, and a crossfield pass finds Mboma, but he can't control. It falls for Nyahanana. Akim cuts inside, is looking for support, and is fouled by Tembani Moyo. Also in is jersey number 10, Nhlanhla Msaliwa, the 16-year-old, getting in to try and get Highlanders Bosso 90 back on level terms.
Yeah, I think they are now trying to attack differently from what we have been seeing them doing. Prakesa introducing these youngsters, that is the likes of Akim Nhlanhla. So right now they've got a free kick, and it was direct play. They are trying to break down CIWU from the center. So maybe that is what we'll be seeing going forward. But it's a good opportunity for Bosso 90. So when you look at this field that we have, the B Arena Prakesa, it's quite small compared to these other pitches. So maybe Bosso 90 might fancy themselves to get an equalizer out of this one. But with the CIWU goalkeeper Jetro being outstanding today, it will be difficult for Nkomo to beat him. So let's wait and see, Prakesa.
Nkomo and Prince Ndlovu behind that one, both left footers. How is it going to be? It's Nkomo, and he completely misses the target.
He failed to pick his spot. Prakesa disappointed in himself as well. So maybe he should have, tried to get it on target. So accuracy, it wasn't up to scratch. So CIWU surviving in terms of that one. So it remains CIWU leading Bosso 90 by 1-0. And with these three changes that Bosso 90 have made, we can't really speak much of them, Prakesa. So we just wait and see how they will impact this game. But for CIWU, already the substitute that came in has done well for his team because he has scored. That is Keith. So I'm sure the coaches, that is the CIWU coaches, the technical team, they will be happy with that change and how Keith has applied himself since he came on the field of play.
Another player who came in for Bosso 90 is Forgiveness Nyoni, who is a defender. He replaced Chitura. Some cool defending there by the captain Nigel, and he tries to play his way out of danger and was impeded in the process by a couple of CIWU players. Play has resumed. Nyahanana plays it down the line. He's looking for Zibusiso Mahlangu. Under challenge there from Nyandoro. Still Mahlangu in possession. Back to Nyahanana. Into the box it comes. Well, poor anticipation there from the Bosso 90 strike force, and they allowed a block to be made, and the goalkeeper Chakwizira easily collected, and he pumps along on forward. A good defensive header from Nigel Nube. It's one in the air by Rowan. He finds Tembani Mboma, who is fouled by Nigel Mlauzi. The hour mark is up, and it is Bosso 19-0 and CIWU 1. And the free kick specialist for CIWU, Tendai Rukoshe, the captain behind the free kick. Is he going to go for goal, or is he going to look for a teammate? Goes for goal, and easy pickings there for Sibanda.
It was easy pickings for him, so I thought Rukoshe there, it was more of accuracy than power, so he didn't put much power behind that one, and in the end it was a routine save by the goalkeeper.
With a long range effort there for Bosso 90, but that one also goes off target.
So we are seeing these guys, they are continuing from where we left off in the first half, whereby they were trying from afar. Rukoche on the other end, and then we also have got Nyati, trying to test the CIWU goalkeeper. So if they continue to do that, Brakes, I feel Bosso 90, they should do more of that, because if you want to score, then get it on target, even if it's off target or on target, but keep those attempts coming at goal, and something might come out. So the referee might caution Jethro, the CIWU goalkeeper.
Yes, he's getting a talking to for taking too long to dispatch that goal kick. So because his team is in the lead, the referee is always going to feel like he's trying to kill a few seconds there.
Yeah, so he's in control of this one. That is Mubobo, the referee. We have to take Rachel Mubobo. So he has really made sure that this game, Brakesa is clean in terms of the tackles, and also cautioning players that have been at fault, but still attack.
Maibongwe for CIWU. Chuma into the box. It's back to Chuma.
Hey.
Cuts and turns inside. Good skill there from Denzel, but he was in an offside position. But that was good skill there to try and score. They're using his heel.
Once again, showing his trickery, and these are three CIWU players that are in attack. That is Keith, Denzel, as well as Maibongo. They are quite tricky. So Keith winning it once again, Brakesa.
Chikami charges towards goal, tries to set up Nube, and Spanda to scramble there to keep that deflection from getting inside his net.
So CIWU with these two close opportunities, Brakesa one, Chira flicking it for offside, but he was in line with the action, so maybe he got it correctly, because from where we were standing it's difficult to judge. The second one, keep dispossessing once again Bosso 90 player, and getting into attack, squaring it up, but Sibanda, it was almost an own goal, but Gerald was equal to the task, pushing it away. So saving his team, because right now it could be CIWU leading by 2-0 as we are getting to 62 minutes this afternoon. Brakesa, CIWU leading by a 0.
And the referee there, Mupopo, getting to talk to Nigel to tell him to ask the kids who are sitting in, just behind that goal there to move away. Throw into the box is a high one. As Busiso fails to flick it on to a teammate, and Rukoshe will clear. Throw in to Bosso 90, quickly taken. Nyati spreads it wide to the right channel. There is Muzondo. Nyati finds Mlauzi. He goes on a run. Works his way past the two men, and failed to keep that one in the field of play. I think he should have whipped in a cross earlier to me instead of trying to take on two men.
He should have done it first time, Brakesa, once, he was in possession. I think, with the attackers that Bosso 90 have, now they are having more numbers inside the box. So maybe he should have tried to get it into the box as a CIWU attack once again.
Chikami charges inside and works his way past Mzondo, and Sibanda does a good job there in coming out and blocking that one for a corner kick. But the runs that Chikami is making, moving from his central position and coming to the left channel, are troubling the Highlanders defense because they do not know how to react to those runs.
Yeah, we talked about, the coach who changes the strategy in the second half being the one who will be on top of this one. And the CIWU have really changed, Brakesa, in terms of how they were attacking in the first half and how they are playing right now. Keith will come from the center and, shift to the wing. And this trickery is becoming difficult to handle for Bosso 90.
Into the box it comes. That one was overhit, and there is no way that Chuma is going to be able to keep that one in play. That's Maibongwe there, fluffing his lines and not being able to deliver a perfect cross into the box. But anyway, he's going to be forgiven because his team is leading at the moment, courtesy of that call by second half substitute Keith Chikami. Poor clearance there from Mzondo, but he's been bailed out by his fellow defenders. That was a dangerous tackle there, as far as I'm concerned, from James Chirenga, because he showed his start, and rightfully the referee Mubobo awards a free kick.
So it was a high put Brakesa there. So it was right for the referee. For me, I feel it was, he should have really talked to Jimmy not to do that.
But he's still pleading his innocence there. That's Chirenga. You know how players are.
He thinks that, he was right. But no, it's not the right way, if you want to win the ball, to raise your boots.
Nyati with the effort, but it was a weak one and easily collected there by Chakwizira. A long one forward by Chakwizira and headed away by Nyati. And Rukoshe there riding all over, climbing all over the pint-sized Nyahanana.
When you compare their, the height for Rukoche as well as Nyahanana Brakesa, he's almost at his waist. That is the CIWU defender.
As Chirenga clears, and yet another tussle for possession there between Rukoshe and Nyahanana. Zibusiso Mahlangu failing to work his way past that steady defensive partnership of Nyandoro and Chirenga. And CIWU will make yet another change. It is Chuma, Prince Chuma, who is making way. He did put in a good shift. That is the boy from Makwekwe, old, a product of white beds. He's making way for jersey number 24. That is Timothy Madumurenu.
Quite tall, that is Timothy. So playing in the middle of the park, so it will be difficult for Bosso 90 to play through the center of Brakesa when I see how CIWU is playing right now. But good shift from Prince Chuma. I thought he was also one player who was the reason why CIWU are leading.
Mahlangu turns, twists and turns and finds Mlauzi, and he took his time, but the youngster, the 16-year-old, has found the target for Bosso 90. I thought that Mlauzi had flashed his lines, but the ball kindly fell for the youngster. That is Msaliwa Nhlanhla. He levels matters for Bosso 90.
So, we can say fortuitous circumstances, Brakesa, because, Mlauzi had missed that one. But the goalkeeper, I thought he did well. That is Jetro, denying the Bosso 90 striker, that is Mlauzi. But it fell kindly to Nhlanhla. Initially he had failed to bury it home, but on the second attempt, he finally got it right. So, the 16-year-old getting his first goal, Brakesa, so I think it's a bright future for this youngster. You look at his stature, his body size, and even his movement on the field of play. I think he's one for the future. That is Nhlanhla, the Bosso 90 striker.
I think for the first time, the central defensive pairing there of CIWU went to sleep. Because after the goalkeeper had made the save, they should have been on their toes to try and clear the danger. But they were nowhere to be found, and Nhlanhla leveling matters. But here comes the man who found the opener, Chikami. He fails to control that one, and it goes out of play for a throw-in, which Bosso 90 clear, but a poor clearance there. It falls now for Tenzo. Mboma to Chikami. Into the box it comes. It was a poor one, and it falls now for Nhlanhla, but he failed to control, and Chirende makes a mess of things. What I've realized is that his footwork is rather poor. That's Chirende. He's not the type of defender to play it out of danger. He is the type of defender to just make those blocks, make those tackles, but he cannot play it from the back. Through ball for Denzel Ncube, but he fluffed his lines there. I thought that was a very good chance there. We had two players in the form of Denzel Ncube and Chikami that had gone through, but they failed to finish that one, as Chikami is caught offside there by the far side assistant referee, that is Francis Chirwa. So play will have to restart with a free kick by Nyati, headed away by Israel Mangimu. It falls from Boma Moyo. He finds support in the form of Rowan Sibanda. Sibanda made a mess of things, and Nyati Mlauzi rather finds support in the form of Zibusiso Mahlangu to Prince Ndlovu. Ndlovu to Mahlangu, but good block there from Chirenga. He finds Rowan Sibanda. Sibanda to Mboma Moyo. Mboma Moyo tried to be skillful instead of playing it simple to Keith Chikami, was open there. It's Bosso 90's turn to attack now. Step overs from Akim, but those step overs came to naught.
Instead, it's putting his team under pressure, Brakesa, because if CIWU had stolen that one and they pumped it forward, I think they might have got something from that one. But Denzel is proving to be wasteful, Brakesa, in attack for CIWU, because he's getting these good opportunities, but he has been failing to punish Bosso 90. Then another thing I'm noting, Brakesa, is that it seems Rowan is now tired, in the middle of the park for CIWU, and the Bosso 90 are fully, making sure that they punish CIWU for that. So maybe the coaches should realize that, because Nyati is now winning everything in the middle of the park, and it's putting pressure on the CIWU defense that was, rock solid. But right now, it seems like Bosso 90 are really getting those gaps in terms of the CIWU defense.
I think it's because of the changes that were made by Bosso 90 technical team, because they reassigned Prince Ndlovu to a more central midfield position, and the presence of Ndlovu and Akim, who are ball players now, are ensuring that Bosso 90 midfielders now have the upper hand, and as a result, that's why you see it seems Rowan Sibanda is running out of steam. Well, it's a free kick for CIWU, and Chirenga behind that one. And the instruction is for him to play to the channels, but defensive header there from Nigel falls for Rowan. He loses out to Akim, but Rowan recovers and plays it wide. Maibongwe cuts inside. It's still Maibongwe. Opens fire. That one flies across the face of goal.
Good effort from Maibongwe. I think he deserves a goal this afternoon in terms of how he has applied himself in terms of this one. Yes, it might be too early to show. You know, tall in the big strikers. That is the likes of Nhlanhla and Prosper. He should be looking up Brakesa and then delivering it right into those areas for those strikers to finish it off. But you know, being youngsters, they might be forgiven, but also the Bosso 90 technical team should be taking notes so that they share with these youngsters after the game, Brakesa, so that they improve.
Quite a lot that has to be corrected, because right now we saw Nigel Nube winning possession in the middle of the park, and the other Nigel Mlauzi, instead of moving so that he creates space for himself, he kept standing in one position, and as a result it was easy for the CIWU defense to deal with him. But anyway, these are youngsters, and the ball is in Shepherd Mabalega Scott Nhlanhla looking from Samayanda, and like you said, Rukoshe has found his match in the form of Samayanda. But after doing all that good work,
then the result, Brakesa, it doesn't, you know, match the effort that he put in to win the ball. So as Bosso 90 attack,
Mlauzi through on goal, finds Mahlangu, but Mahlangu was in an offside position. Mlauzi should have taken the responsibility to bury that one.
Exactly, Brakesa, because he wasn't offside. According to the second assistant here, that is Kunani, he didn't flag it when it was his feet, but once he squared it to Mahlangu, then he flagged for offside. So he should have taken responsibility there. There was all the time in the world to pick his spot and bury it home. The keeper was already in motion, Jetro moving out. So Mlauzi should really improve in terms of those basics, Brakesa, as a forward.
As a forward, he has to be selfish. You are allowed to be selfish when you are a striker. Go for goal. Make those attempts instead of passing on the responsibility to someone
who
else.
wasn't even anticipating.
You see now, because you saw how Bosso had initially fluffed his effort because he thought this guy was going to bury the effort, and then only to find the ball at his feet. Good skill there, finds Akim, but a good block from Chirenga. A through ball for Mboma. Mboma Moyo adjudged to have strayed offside there by Chirwa. Nube.
End-to-end stuff here, Brakesa. We are witnessing. It's getting exciting, you know. Both teams really want to win this one. No one is settling for a draw. So we'll see a lot of goalmouth action in these last few minutes that we have.
Mahlangu loses out to Rukoshe. It's picked up by Nyahanana. And a defensive header from Chirenga. Mahlangu picks it up for Highlanders. Nyahanana into the box, finds Nhlanhla, but he couldn't turn and shoot. But, he did find himself at the end of that cross. So he's not hiding.
Exactly. I think it's good, you know, what this youngster is doing. He has got that striker's, mind when it comes to Bosso 90 attacks. Let's see how
good skill from Mahlangu into the box it comes, but equally good diving defensive header there from Chirenga. But Bosso 90 on the ascendancy in terms of trying to find the winner here to me.
Pressure on CIWU, Brakesa, pressure on CIWU. Even Chirenga is now complaining to say, guys, you are not really coming up to help us at the back. And Bosso 90, it's relentless, their attacks, and it seems like they're pushing more men into the box.
Into the box it comes, and Samanda did not go up for that ball, despite him being the tallest player that Bosso 90 have in their ranks. But the youngsters are not done. Akim cuts inside, works his way past two men, but he tried to take on too many men. But it's still Bosso 90 in possession with Nyahanana. He finds Nhlanhla, he's looking for Akim. Mlauzi, it's Mlauzi, he tries to shoot through the legs of Israel Ndlovu and is down injured. But the referee will let play continue. Mboma to Chikami. Chikami cuts inside. Finds the support. Well, the substitute there
should have
rushed things. He should have found a support, but instead you went for glory, and as a result, Highlanders were able to block that one. Well, play has been stopped so that Mlauzi can get some attention from the Highlanders medical team in the form of former Bosso great Caesar Koza, who's working with Melusima Valega Spanda in that Bosso 90 technical setup.
That's another area that we have to improve on, Brakesa, because we now have Caesar, attending to these injuries. So we need medics to check out some of these players. We know Caesar being part of the technical team in terms of coming up as a coach, but right now he is acting medic for Bosso 90. So we are not sure whether he really understands some of these things when it comes to a player being injured and how to treat those injuries. So Bosso should try and improve in that. And yesterday in the match between Ajax and Ratanang, the Ajax Hotspurs goalkeepers coach, that is Sija, was red carded for getting into the field of play as a medic instead of being the goalkeepers coach, and the referee gave him a second yellow card, and it was a red card for him. So maybe we can really improve in some of these areas, Brakesa, as the Zifa Southern Region Division 1.
It's less than a minute of regulation time left here, but I'm sure a couple of more minutes will be added by the referee. Gratitude to Mubobo, because we have had these stoppages. But in the meantime, a play will resume with a throw-in by Nyahanana. It's back to Nyahanana. And a chance now for CIWU to launch a counter as Masunda finds the outstanding Maibongwe. Maibongwe rushed his cross there, and Swanda will dispatch a long one. Flicked forward by Msamanyanda and headed away by Chirenga. Msamanyanda wins it again in the air. Well, I think Msamanyanda really now using his height advantage to good effect. It comes to Msamanyanda now. He finds support in the form of Nyahanana. Cuts in front of one man, sends in a cross, but Akim was sleeping on duty there. As CIWU tried to come up with a quick break, but the referee stops the play because the youngster Nhlahla has been on the ground for quite a while now.
It's getting to be a physical contest, Brakesa, and we are seeing the likes of Samanyanda now proving themselves because they are winning those aerial tussles. But this young Nhlahla, it seems like it's getting heated for him because he has been on the ground for quite some time, and ever since he came on, I think he has been receiving medical attention for quite a number of times. And also seeing Nigel, he's also coming back into the field of play. He was out, so quite a number of Bosso 90 players now, complaining of these injuries. But for CIWU, I think when you look at the players that they have on the field of play, quite big in terms of stature, and they are putting it into full effect, trying to pin Bosso 90 into their half and get the winner.
Alex picks it up for CIWU and goes for goal, but it was a weak effort, and Sibanda will easily collect and proceeds to throw it out to Nyahanana. Down the line to Mahlangu. He failed to keep that one in play. So it's a throw-in, which Rukoshe takes. And the referee, Gratitude Mugobo, applause to signal the end of this Southern Region Division 1 Soccer League encounter between Bosso 90 and CIWU, and it has ended in a 1-1 stalemate.
It's okay, but not good enough. The boys, maybe they were still in the celebratory mood after coming second in that tournament in South Africa. But we didn't play our normal game, especially in the first half. But after the changes in the second half, that's when we started to knock the ball around. And thanks to Curtis, who came in the second half, we made our play easy. Even you could pass the penetrative moves, creating some scoring opportunities. I think we should have won this game if we could have utilized our chances.
We failed to utilize our chances, and the opposite team, they came with power. We took this game out of our hands, but this was our game. But we failed to manage our goals, only that.